the episode.
I'm
Why?
calling
They were
them
coming to you.
flutters.
Flutters? Oh my god, that's beautiful.
What's up?
What up?
I'm gonna start using that, Nova. Draco, did you flutter today?
Oh, you mean post on Blue Sky?
Oh my god, it works, Nova.
I saw I was the first one to see Nova's tweet about it.
Oh, did you? I didn't. Okay, I thought she was just saying it now.
He tweeted about it that she asked someone
Hey,
what
listen.
it's supposed to be called.
I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna get shit done. And then I realized mid shower, I was like, what time is it? And I look at my phone because I was listening to my audiobook. And I was like, oh, I gotta hurry up.
Yeah, you got shit to get done.
I got shit to
woke
get
up
done.
all messed up because I came home late after hanging out with my buddy at a party, and then I woke up at 6 in the morning thinking it was 6 p.m.
Oh my god. That's crazy. But
I legit thought, fuck, I completely missed the podcast. Then I look at my phone and it said AM. I'm like, thank God. And I went back to sleep.
Nova, you're red.
I am. It's Evil Nova.
It's what?
Yeah,
Emo
well,
Nova? Oh, evil. I heard evil, and I was like, I don't think she's mentioning Hajime. No, put the evil back on. It's hot. It works for Halloween today.
I figured it would.
All right,
What were you gonna say,
Zelo.
Draco? Oh, hold on.
This
My
is your
Poder
send it
is
via ghost.
fucking up. Okay.
I was gonna say,
What up,
this is
everybody?
the one you recommended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the spooky episode. That's right. Get that blanket on.
It's spooky.
You're gonna need it.
I sure as hell did need
So-
it for that first episode.
I know at least one of us here doesn't like horror. I am a huge horror fan. I absolutely love horror. And so my recommendation was to do a special Halloween episode. And we chose to do that with Yami Shibai, Japanese Ghost Stories, also known on Crunchyroll as Theater of Darkness, Yami Shibai. So everyone here, including the audience, had homework to watch a couple of episodes. They were only 4-minute episodes. Have a couple of tales, Japanese ghost stories that you wanted to talk about today. And yeah, we're gonna get started. I know Des started at season 1. Just
I finished season 1.
throwing out there. Yeah, but I mean, you started at season 1. I actually went ahead and kept watching to season 3 because I chose season 3 episodes thinking that maybe nobody else got that far.
Honestly,
that way
I
we
would have
had-
kept watching. I would have kept watching, but my situation was, I was like, I thought we were only watching the first season. Because honestly,
Oh no,
I
you're
stopped
fine.
myself,
It
'cause
was just
I
to
almost
watch a couple episodes.
Mm.
You could have jumped around if you wanted to, but I never specified that, so that's why I took it upon myself and said I'm gonna jump ahead because we're probably gonna need, with only 4 episodes, and especially after I watched 1 episode, I was like, shit, they're not giving you a
4
lot.
minute.
With 4 minutes, they're not giving you a lot of substance to really dig your teeth into and explore.
Is that I kind of did. I started reading into each episode just a little bit, kind of aggressively, because I was like, it's spooky shit. Don't get me wrong. I am terrified of everything spooky, but I get so into the details, which is why I get so easily jump scared.
I will say there is a recurring theme in season 3 of the episodes I watched of dumbass male characters.
Sounds right.
Like just
Sounds right.
complete, like, I don't really want to say assholes. Like one of them is an asshole, but just dumbasses. Like just doing dumbass shit. That at the end you're like, yeah, I was kind of hoping you would die.
That's fucked up.
But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start without Nixie.
Yeah.
Some issues may keep her away today. She has let us know. We will go if she pops in. It'll be a nice, pleasant surprise. And if she doesn't, then we hope the best for her. With that being said, does anyone want to start? Am I starting? How we doing this?
I mean, my main thought around what we had to watch this week was exactly what you had just brought up there, Zelo, is that like they're 4-minute long episodes. Like I wish that they had been at the very least like 10 minutes so that we could get like a proper introduction, conflict, story, and then end kind of thing. But they were all just so short. And it was very hard for me to sink my teeth into them.
And here's another thing I'll point out. There's like a 30-second intro into this. Okay.
Mhm.
Keep in mind, this is a 4-minute episode beginning to end. 4 minute 30 seconds, maybe, I think is what it came out to if you actually watch it. The timer says 4 minutes and 30 seconds. There is a 30-second intro and like a minute-long outro. So you're only getting like 3 minutes total of actual content of what this episode is about.
And it's more than enough. It's more than enough.
I don't know, Desi. It like there was.
It didn't scare you, so it's not enough.
The first one sure as hell did jump scare me, and honestly, I started turning to that person, the talisman woman. I felt so bad for her, but like at the same time, who the hell just pops up on people like that, and not say not a word? I'm like, ma'am. Then you wonder why you're getting arrested. A conversation could have changed everything.
That dude was a dumbass though too.
I started looking at it again because I made the mistake of watching it too early into the week. So, and with how work has been, my brain kind of forced everything out. So now I was like, fuck, I need a refresher. Because for some reason my brain didn't retain this info like a sponge.
That is a great
dried up shit.
Actual like that plays right into what me and Nova were saying though. As short as they are, there's nothing here that captivates you to grab onto to be like, oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah, that, and it's because not to like pick and choose. I would have if they made it like a minute or two longer to explain what at the beginning or end to explain what well at the end because it would ruin it if you did it at the beginning, but to explain what this story was sort of about, like a quick Cliff Notes version. Because like I just could not understand shit. I didn't get why why anything was happening.
Like I need the lore. Why
Even if it's
is
like a Cliff Notes version?
Like why is this particular copying machine haunted? What the fuck happened to the copying machine? Why do I need to be invested in the fucking copy machine?
What's fucked up is like a lot of these stories are if I remember, like a lot of these type of ghost stories are almost always started with someone getting treated like shit. It's that one item is right there when they off themselves and then they haunt it in like all of the weirdest ways.
Also, there was one of them I remember watching. Hi, Kai. There was one of them where this story is about a particular mother and daughter who have been cursed, and it's like, how? Where did this curse come from? Why is this curse appearing all over this young girl in forms of like strangulation
they did explain that little part. One of their ancestors had pissed off an actual demon of sorts, and that's where this curse comes from. Now the question
that's
is,
not enough context.
What did they do to piss the demon off? Why did they piss the demon off?
What demon did they piss off?
Right.
Yeah, the one that the only one I could sort of remember a little bit of the concept was that one with them having to laugh. Something about a spirit taking over the grandpa, and that they needed to laugh, and they had those masks, and
it was to keep them away and stuff. To keep that creature away. But what made me mad is like you couldn't have explained this to your child or included your child. You just excluded the kid, said go to bed, stay in your room all night. Just simply that. And I'm like, he's like maybe what, 5? The hell? You could have just been like, all right, we're gonna have a little party in Grandpa's room. We're all gonna be laughing. What's it called? You know, just chill in here. Just ha 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 with us. You know, we're just gonna be laughing for free. You know, just kind of explain it to your kid, not just abandon him, and then just stare at him with your
It's just
mask on.
hilarious.
I was
It's
like,
hilarious to think
I
though
was like, you
that
just
him
sacrificed the
needing to
kid.
go pee. Him needing to go pee is what really
Is what really did it. Oh my god.
a tiny bladder got them all fucked up.
Like, there was one episode that I felt sufficiently satisfied by. I will say there was one, and it was, which episode was it? Which episode was it? Where is it in the pinned comments? Pinned messages.
Was it the husband in the elevator? Because that shit was funny to me. I was like, that's a level of karma. It's fucked up because the man had to go to work and she didn't have to look at him like that. But
Okay,
I don't even know what
yes.
the whole issue there was either. I'm like,
he was a workaholic and he
man.
cared more about his job than his son's birthday, and he was going to leave to go back to work, and the wife was basically spiteful, essentially on the long lines of, you're always working and we're second to your job. And I'm pretty sure she cursed him by the glare she gave, but him...
And when he got into the elevator, he was like, just leave me alone. And by
Yeah.
the end of it, the ghost was like, I hope you enjoy your time alone. That one was satisfying.
That one, it was. I felt like that's the one you were gonna refer to.
It wasn't, but it is.
Now, did you notice that when there was one creature or ghost kind of chasing towards the elevator, I'm fairly certain that was just a soul trying to escape that quote-unquote alone time?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's honestly, I kind of thought even further, and I was just like, what if that was him? Just kind of doing a loop?
Ooh.
it kind of.
I can see
like
that.
Him. That's why I was confused.
You say it kind
But
of.
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're all drawn so weirdly.
But the episode that I was going to talk about is episode 7, Contradiction, where it's the girl, she's just laying in bed, and then her friend calls her in the middle of the night, and
You got me mad.
like,
Go ahead.
and her friend like spins her this story about how her and this guy went to a deserted hospital, and then the guy started acting all weird, and then by the end, like mid phone call, the dude is banging at her door being like, we went to a deserted hospital as a test of
Courage and stuff like that.
courage. There we go.
Really. Yeah.
And she's the one that started acting all weird and this, that, and the other thing. And by the time it all ends and she opens the door to let the guy in, like I liked that one because you had a setup, you provided context. It's a deserted hospital, so you can imagine it's some sort of like street level demon. It's not that deep kind of thing. They got possessed because they were being stupid and went to a deserted hospital without any sort of spiritual protections.
Now tell me how mad you got. Because she figured it out. Is the problem is that she figured it out, and she still went to. Oh, she didn't even check a peephole. There was no level of, hey, are you okay behind the door? There was no second guessing it. Hey, I got a phone call. She's like explaining as she's opening the door. She doesn't communicate anything else.
And it's like, bitch, this is why you die in the horror movie. This is why you die.
I can leave?
That was, what do you mean by that? What do you, no. Matter of fact, I'm gonna need you to stay right there. I'll call the cops to come get you. You stay right where you are.
Bitch, you stay where you at.
No, you can. Yes,
you have no
can
permission
leave.
to leave. You stay.
You can go home.
You can't come here. No, I'm tired. You woke me out of my sleep, babe. All right, I was sleeping good. I have work in the morning. No.
I'd be calling the Santeria specialist immediately. Be like, yeah.
It was too late.
If,
She opened the door.
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I think he's haunted. Well, leave me alone till I can get a Santeria priest out here.
Let me just call the Winchester boys real quick.
Now the question is,
Santeria priests don't fuck around. Them guys are.
Neither do the Winchesters.
you're not wrong.
Those guys
I have
can
a
shoot
question,
ghosts
though.
with
Who got
guns.
possessed
I'm
first?
sorry, they win.
Do you hear me? What's it called? Who do you think actually got possessed first? Because they both stepped in first, and they both explained that they noticed that immediately they were being weird, started running, went into a room, and then they were like essentially fully possessed at that point. They both
They
explained
got
that same
double fingered
perspective.
at the same time by the ghost.
My
don't
guess is just
know.
purely based on Toru being at Yuko's door that he was gone first.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Toru. And this might
Yeah.
be my fucking bias showing, but you cannot tell me that he didn't fucking walk through that hospital acting like a little fucking macho man, trying to be like, oh, these ghosts don't scare me, and then freaking like a little
Like,
lock on the door and walks into the room. That was fucking locked for a goddamn like I believe her story. I believe her story.
The ghost had to make a phone call. Let's think about that. The ghost had to actively dial on a phone booth my number. You right.
That the whole go walking in acting like they're hot shit reminds me of the Marlon Webb when he did the pretty much a parody of
You know what?
Paranormal Activities, and he had his cousin Ray Ray come out and he was like, I don't give a fuck. I feel like that was the attitude he probably walked in with.
Probably. I mean, it was his idea to go there in the first place. She was just like,
Sitting
okay,
here-
my boyfriend's cute, I'll go.
Sitting here and thinking about the story, I'm almost wondering if Mayumi actually called unpossessed and got possessed as she was called, because it doesn't say she left the hospital. It says she fled in fright. It doesn't say she was ever out of the hospital. She could have been calling from the hospital.
No, they showed.
Oh,
her,
yeah.
They showed the toll. Well, I mean, she might have been on the hospital premise, but she was calling from a toll booth. They do show that scene at first that she's in a little toll booth box, with a like
I forgot about the scene.
blurry background is what they basically show you. It's not until later that they zoom in on her, like they show you her face normal, and then a couple sequences later they show you her face fully just like demonic, and you're like,
Yeah,
Oh,
but
shit.
even so, I'm just wondering if whatever it was they released from that hospital didn't just follow her. I'm almost wondering if she made that call legitimately, like, hey, something's fucked up, and then like was possessed as she's in the middle of that call.
Oh no, she for sure.
For sure.
What's it called?
Well,
It
which
got
one had me all confused
boyfriend
now?
found her, got her, tagged her, and then spread. Like kind of like a communicable disease, if you will.
Which one
Well,
got
the
you,
one,
Draco?
The one that left me just the most confused. Like,
Okay.
I was having to check myself to figure it out. I think it was episode 2, Zombie. Dude ends up in a random hospital. These three are just off in the corner talking, and then the one where he left, and then they're like, wait, they're doing that type of a zombie celebration? Get the hell out the vet. Get the hell out of this taxi. You're not going to be able to leave this place alive. Giant truck magically spawns behind them.
All he had to do was continue driving. Let's be honest.
Right? Like, I would have, if I heard that, my foot
No,
would be pedal to the metal, and I'd be gone.
No, I understand his fear though. He probably just like, you're not taking me down with you, buddy. Get out my car.
It's the fact that he stopped, though, that got him killed, too.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
My confusion is just how there was no vehicle behind them during most of the conversation. Then the truck just
They were only a
popped
few.
up.
They were only like probably a couple of, I want to say feet, but like a couple. You could see the hospital in the background, which is why he was able to see he was doing a combine instead of the
zombie.
I mean, a zombie. Yeah, I'm sorry. They were doing a zombie instead. Like, no, that's the wrong one. That's why it's facing down. So they were close enough to be seen. But my thing is, were they human, right? Because hear me out, the doctor blatantly ignores them the whole time. He's like talking to me like, yeah, tomorrow evening you're gonna get released, you know, after you broke your leg and whatnot. And these three guys are just standing there all night.
Doc don't even know that they what the hell he was talking about. He just kept going off.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, maybe they were spirits and not actively old men. Probably old men who did die there, and they're a little bit spiteful. You know what I mean?
My ass in the afterlife all mad, like, what the fuck did I do? Why did I have to die for this?
Honestly, they would be catching all of, not the strays, they would be catching direct bullets. Immediately, I'm swinging.
Spiritual hands immediate.
I'm gonna learn how to swing on an apparition. You hear me? We on the same playing field now.
I learned this from Danny Phantom, bitch.
I know, Nova, you mentioned your favorite kind of episode, right?
Well, that one got me. Like, I really liked Contradiction. That one was pretty spooky to me. Especially, I've been reading this manhwa lately on Webtoons, and the facial expression that the possessed friends take is very similar to the manhwa that I'm reading. So Contradiction was definitely my favorite. My least favorite one that I had watched, and mind you, I only watched up to episode 10 of, for whatever reason, after episode 10 or during episode 10, I was starting to feel really fucking sick. Like, I was laying there, I was like getting a headache, I was getting really nauseous, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with me?
Get the salt, put a circle.
So like after episode 10 finished, I looked at hubby and I was like, I'm just going to bed. We were only supposed to watch like 3 or 4. I've watched 10. I'm going to bed.
I feel like, and then again, episode 10 was exactly the poop incident where he honestly doesn't remember him falling into the toilet.
Is that the one with the baseball team?
Yes,
yes.
With the pit toilets and the poop demon.
Yeah, where he had no recollection. There we go. Of it happening to him in the past, but his buddies are like making fun of him because it happened when they were in Little League.
Yeah. But no, my least favorite episode out of everything was the overhead rack. Because you know what that episode made it feel like at the end of a...
Yeah, no, go ahead.
He died it straight up just felt like he died of overworking. Like, it didn't feel spooky, it didn't feel like a ghost story. Dude, it felt like dude had a fucking stroke or something, had a hallucination mid-stroke, and then died. That's what it feels like.
Considering how much they overwork people out in Japan, that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
My thing for a lot of these episodes, it hits me with the one question, because they're usually, like, a lot of these episodes have happened in public. It's not like the first episode, dude, right, where he's basically by himself, in his apartment, where he's just now surrounded by ghosts. Most of these people are surrounded by people. The immediate response in me is, do you see that too? Like, do you see that up there? No? Okay. And then, you know, then I would start doing numbers and subtractions and stuff about what's my next move. But you're not asking questions. You're not asking for assistance. You're not, you know, like on a bullet train where I'm smacked body to body, and the lights are before they flicker off, because I was asking questions. I would have been like, does anybody see that up there? And then all of a sudden you notice it disappeared. So you're like, oh, okay.
Let's eat some soup.
In a minute. I'll get you some soup in a minute. It's just like, you gonna tell me you not gonna... I would have screamed. Genuinely, the scared girl in me, what the fuck is that, you know? There is no filter. And then I would probably backed up in the most dramatic white girl in the movie. start crawling backwards. I'm gonna make it blatantly obvious. I'm terrified of what the hell is up there. Make everybody look. And if everybody look at me like I'm crazy, cool. I'd rather be crazy and be saw that I'm crazy before the lights get cut off, because now I'm dead. You know what I mean? Something just got me. Spiritually.
No, I totally agree.
A lot of these things feel like either like they're supposed to be scary, and it probably is when you know the context behind these stories, like what their origin was.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of them just feel like, damn, this is like stupid levels of petty.
Yeah. I will say,
Like,
in Japan,
so you're telling me I snapped my finger wrong? I was snapping my fingers, I did it wrong, and this spirit's just gonna G-check me for it? Jesus.
I mean, the
the
tormentor,
kind
all
of,
you
like,
had to do was
vibe.
look at her, and she was like, no.
Bitch, did I tell you you could look at me?
No, but you said you didn't get this part. The tormentor was essentially a girl in a house, and there was a whole bunch of doctors and police.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole bunch of police were lined up, and there was this guy. You could tell they're like people who does exorcism or whatnot, and they're escorting this person who's dancing. There's 3 boys who are watching from far away. One of them knows the lore. Can you make him a soup, please? Thank you. I'm working. Love you. I don't know how to help you, bro. You got your tablet. Anyways, sorry about that. Hold on, give me like 2 seconds. Y'all discuss.
Okay.
1 second. 2 seconds.
So another
I just
episode
have to do
that I particularly enjoyed, I liked the Umbrella Goddess. One part of it felt a little stupid to me, because like right before they lock the kid in the shed, his dad is like, no matter who the fuck it is, I need you to not open this door and do not let them in. What is this? What does this little shit do? His friend comes in, hey, I have snacks. Immediately opens the fucking door. My guy.
I was like,
I
you were
mean-
given one job. One job.
You were given one job.
I mean, it knew the trick. It had the perfect trick right there.
Snacks? Snacks?
Who the fuck would
Honestly,
want snacks?
My little fat ass would be like, slide that through the window right quick. Just
Figure out how to get it through the bottom of the door.
no. If you notice, the shed had like lateral of essentially like a wood fencing to the windows. So all you had to do was, it's a bag of chips. Squeeze, pop out the air. I don't care if you pop the bag and just start dribbling it through the thing. If you a real one, that's how you gonna do it for me.
Right?
Your dad told you you're not allowed in here, and I was told not to let nobody in, not even you nor him. So why the hell kids don't listen? I don't know, but like that's a forever in life thing. All of these
Lot of what's
scenarios where
messed
kids
up-
are bad, they just get fucked up.
There's been a bunch of those stories
Mhm.
that, and I've been on Twitter, and y'all know I will either be chill or just go off the deep end. I ran into those kind of people that would draw that kind of spirit. Yeah, they make sure that spirit looks hot as shit, and that they'd be like, huh.
Okay,
No,
so
some people, you could see why that you would fall for that as an older individual.
okay, so I'm not crazy. I have seen that kind of shenanigan on the internet before.
Yes, Nova, and I'm trying my best not to describe it.
I'm also trying my best not to describe it, but like when that episode first came on, I was like, hey, I think I've seen stuff of this before.
Yeah, it's on them sites that you only watch late at night when no one else.
Wait, can I get back to the torment dancer?
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, so I left off on there was 3 boys. One knew about the lore. His grandmother had basically told him, you can't look in their direction at all. Don't even look over there, because she'll torment you for looking at her, right? And so for some reason,
Says the story
one of
as
these
you're looking
boys-
at her.
has a binoculars, not even just looking in their direction from a distance. No, binoculars to zoom in beautifully. And it's the youngest boy, he's like, I'm kind of creeped out. I'm leaving. I gotta go. I'm not gonna be part of this. He's smart, gets away. So now it's the two boys who just learned about this, and the first one that had the binoculars goes, "Oh, I think I see something. I see somebody's arm is moving around and stuff, dancing, I think." And the other boy's just like, "Well, what does she look like?" And he's like, "Wait, I can almost see her." The other boy gets impatient, snatches the binoculars right before the face is shown, and he's immediately in petrified mode, essentially.
Wait,
He's
which
like,
one?
"What do
The
you see?
one
What do you see?"
originally?
No, the second boy gets petrified. And it's because he's now being tormented and possessed by this whatever it is, because it now shifted from that poor girl that's been struggling with it to now this kid. And it fast forwards to the kid being in the bed, in his own house, and his dad tells the first boy, going like, "Hey, you can't see your friend anymore. He's gonna be transferred over to the Americas to go study over there." Mind you, you see a group of adults holding the kid in the room, like towards the back. And I'm just like, oh, they're trying to exercise the thing while they can right now over there. Um, I was like, damn, the kid might die. I don't think he's gonna make it. And the fact that I feel like the dad was being petty because he handed the kid the binoculars and like kind of smirked and was like, "Here you go, so you can have something to remember him." And I was like, wow, you just set that kid up for failure. Because lo and behold, he doesn't get crazy far, but he decides to take a look back at his friend's house because he notices a shadow in one of the windows, and use the binoculars and notices the kid's no longer there. And then he zooms down to see where the dad was standing at the door, and now he's like flailing his arm, going like, essentially trying to flag him down. But it's too late. The friend is now there attacking him, being the said tormentor. So now it's his turn. And I'm like, damn, he done got. Because who gave him the damn binoculars? The fucking father. And it was so messed up. But it was so deserved because you were told not to, and you did anyways.
So was the one that left early the one who already knew the lore?
Oh yeah. No, his grandmother had told him, don't mess with them. Don't do it. And
I was about to say, if he was the one that fucked up like that, it'd be like, you were given the playbook and you still fucked up.
But he handed over the playbook to the other friends, and they just chose to be like, it's fine. It's just myth.
Damn mouth breathing, smooth brain kids. How do you get told the lore, the secrets,
The secrets,
the strategy, and still drop the ball? My ass here is don't look at them. I got you, Chief. Going in the opposite direction forever.
And then like another episode of just go ahead, Zio. Go ahead.
Like, so I get that it's stupid when you're told not to do it, but it's morbid curiosity.
It is. It literally is.
So we have this place near where I live called Helltown.
Oh no.
It is a place that is not accessible by any road. You have to take trails through the woods to get to it. There are supposedly cryptids. There's demonic worship that happens here. Me and my uncles have planned a trip to go here.
Zelo.
It is absolute morbid curiosity. And
take the salt. Take the what's that thing for smoking? You don't smoke
Smudge?
it, but like it's
sage stick.
Huh? Yeah, you better take smudge. Take your
smudge
sage.
stick made of sage.
Okay, so you're gonna take that stick, and you're gonna take salt with you, and maybe a cross, and just make sure it doesn't go upside down. Okay? That's so
Here's
three
the
things
thing.
I need you to take.
I don't know that I would ever actually make it on the trip if we set a date for it. Like we've talked about it, we've planned it, we know how we would do it, when we would do it, what times we would go. If the time came that there was ever a possibility that we were actually going to pull the trigger on this trip, I believe in this shit too much to actually do it, in my honest belief.
Okay. Like, I might
I'm a
not.
Mexican.
I'm not
we already
religious.
have enough ghost stories. I'd be running the other direction.
Listen, I am not religious, but I will say that one thing in all religions that exists, and it's demons and just this negative energy that just exists. And I'm like, if that's the one main thing in everything, I feel like that's the truth of everything, and that maybe I should just take that one thing into consideration.
You do not fuck with the spirit world. I don't
Exactly.
care what religion you partake in. I don't care what scriptures it is you read. You do not fuck with the otherworldly. You do not step beyond the veil. You do not tease or taunt the fucking undead. You leave them motherfuckers alone.
Exactly. It's just like if they're in your house, it's their house now. It's okay. They have a time limit usually of how long they could be there, and if it takes longer than your lifetime, then guess what? It's still their house. So I'm gonna need you just to sign a new lease agreement and move somewhere else. Sell the house. I don't care. Rent it out. Point is, you not dare them. You know what I mean?
Like these
But
things
like I
are
said,
not
I get
hard
it.
to understand.
I have been on the side of morbid curiosity where I have gone to the Ohio State Reformatory is one of them that I've been to.
Oh god.
It's a haunted place. I've done the tours. I've seen the inside of these jails. I've seen the jail where the dude burned to death inside of his cell and his spirit supposedly is still there. I have seen that cell. I have been on that block. I have been in that building. I have
And were you a
been
little
in the
cold?
jailhouse by where I live. That is also very haunted, very closed off, very boarded up. They literally have had professional ghost investigators investigate this jail near where I live. This isn't the Ohio State Reformatory. This is a different jail.
Mhm.
Ghost hunters come in, well renowned, and search this and
So wait,
capture
so
the
you knew
paranormal
this
on
before
camera.
going.
And I have been in there. I've been in those places. I get the morbid curiosity of shit, and then it's amplified when it's a kid. They're not old enough to.
Zillow.
Zillow, did you ever offer a
Your
McChicken?
your
Maybe that'll chill him out. Give him a McChicken. Be like, here you go.
no.
Kira just came back from folding the dishes. Well, drinking my sheets. How's it going?
buddy.
So what I'm hearing, Zillow, is that you just you let your inner white come out, and that's you knew
Yes, like,
that there was
literally.
activities there.
That I guess in the sense of like if you were watching a horror movie, yes, I have done the things that you don't do in horror movies that puts you in a position where you're in a horror movie. I get the morbid curiosity. I believe in this shit so strongly that I have gone and tried to see it with my own eyes.
Zillow, I swear to God, one
Zillow
of
goes
these
first.
days, if you and I ever meet in person, the first thing we're fucking doing is a cleansing.
Yes, egg included. I'm grabbing the egg and you're just getting rubbed. All right, that's the first thing that's happening.
I want to go with Zillow just once so that I can offer a double cheeseburger and see what happens.
What if they eat it? And I mean, what if they don't eat it, right? And they just like pick it up and yeet it at your forehead.
I'd pull out a pen and paper and be like, what else did you want? I don't know what your preference is. Do you want a shake? Do you want fries with it?
You just start
might get
throwing
my-
things around the room. No, that's not my favorite deal.
Put down your favorite place to get fast food from, buddy.
What if they died
I got
before
some guys-
fast
wanna
food was
hear-
invented? You're
As-
not,
as
you're not
a-
being physical.
As a
You want
Halloween
a steak?
special, do
Uh-huh.
you guys want to hear a scary story that actually took place that I've witnessed? I could
Let
tell
me
a
get
couple.
my salt. It might be table salt. It's still salt.
Salt is salt.
I will tell a couple stories that my family has passed around.
Okay. If I'm letting you know right now, if my laptop screen starts doing any weird glitchy shit, I'm logging off for today's podcast. I'm letting you know that is where I draw the line.
All right.
Oh lord.
Let me know when you're ready, Des.
Oh, I didn't go literally grab this all. If I see something happening, you'll just hear doo doo. That's it.
All right. So, I will start with the one that actually happened in my house when I was younger.
Aw.
So, there was a night,
Mhm.
me and my dad were home,
Mhm.
and we're sitting in my living room,
Mhm.
and we hear my mom walk down the stairs.
Mhm.
And we both heard it. We're looking that way. We know she's coming. We can count every step. We got him. She's not there. It dawns on us. We look at each other. Oh shit. My mom took my brothers on a Boy Scout retreat. They're not home.
Sorry.
We counted every step coming down the steps.
It mimicked your
We
mother's
knew
footsteps.
when we were supposed to see her, because when you get to the bottom of my steps, when we're sitting in the living room, the way the couches are arranged and the way my dad's chair is, you can't be unseen. We see you through the doorway in the hallway that leads up the stairs and around into the playroom / kitchen area.
So what did you do? Like, what did you do? Because honestly, my first instinct, for some reason, is to always grab a weapon. Even though I can't see it, I'm going to grab a weapon. For some odd reason, I need it. It's safety. What did you do?
We walked upstairs, looked around, didn't see anybody, made sure all the doors were closed, walked back
You
downstairs,
walked
walked to the
past
kitchen,
where
made
it
sure.
stopped?
Yeah, we went
Holy
looking.
shit, I swear for God.
And then we laughed about it, and fucking, we got a little creeped out, but we just laughed about it and went on with our day.
It's okay. I
Now,
have a story for you after, but go ahead.
these next two didn't happen to me, but they have been recounted verbatim. Every detail lines up from everyone I've heard the stories from who were part of this story.
Okay.
The first one happened to my grandpa and my uncle's mother. It would have been his second wife, my dad's stepmom. So they used to live at in a house, and they would hear things. They had a hatch that slides above that led to the attic. They would hear this thing slam open in the middle of the night, close it, wake up the next morning, and it was still open. They would hear it open, close, open, close. No matter what they did, it never stayed closed. Something always opened it. One night, my grandpa was asleep, and we'll call her my grandma for the sake of the story just to make it easier, was laying in bed. And my grandma feels something moving at the end of the bed. My grandpa's asleep next to her, and my uncles, I can only imagine that they're sleeping somewhere else in the house. Because I've never asked what they were doing, but they were not in this room. They could not get into their room. So she feels it moving at the end of her bed. She tries to ignore it. It stops.
Okay.
She happens to look at the end of the bed and sees a pair of fucking scissors floating over her feet.
I hate it here.
Ooh, I've got
They
one.
moved.
I'm visualizing things.
I got
It's not
one
even
more,
real.
and then I'll pass it around for anyone else who wants to tell a ghost story.
Cool.
The last one happened to my uncle's brother. So same grandma. It was her fucking second oldest child, I believe.
Okay.
He was living in an apartment that's actually right down the street from where I live. It's within walking distance. He had this little opening. I'm sure you guys have seen them before. The little door that sits under the stairs that just acts as a little storage space. Every night, he would hear this door jiggle like something was trying to get out from inside of it. He pushed his couch up against it, and my uncle goes to stay with him one night. In the middle of the night, my uncle wakes up, and this fucking door is shaking with so much force that it is moving my uncle on the couch.
No, that's my thought.
Those are just a couple little horror stories that I've actually encountered and heard from family who I've talked to multiple sources inside my family, and they all recant verbatim the exact same story, the exact same way, the exact same details.
Someone in my family if they've ever had a ghost story. Would have been a nice share, but I don't have none.
I do have one that is a series of, it's in one house. It is actually in my in-laws' house because they bought the house, but where the city I live in, it is riddled with graveyards and so like anything can come in. You know what I'm saying? Anything could just join in. And it started off when I was a teenager. I will admit to playing on a Ouija board one time. And that's all it took for me to say never the fuck again. At first it was me, my now hubby, and a couple of his cousins. Literally like two or three extras. So there's like 5 of us, all hands on deck, right? Don't know where the Ouija board came from. They were just like, ooh, we have it, right? And so I was like, mind you, I was Christian at this point, but at the same time, I'm just like, I got God on my side. What it'll hurt, right? So
have you not seen the movies? God sort of just sits back and goes, well, that happened.
I didn't watch scary movies as a teenager, all right? I just kind of just like knew about stuff. I just usually just ignored the movies because I slept with the lights on if I did. Anyways, so we're moving it. What's it called? We're touching it, and all of a sudden it starts moving. And we're all cackling jokes, be like, "Are you moving it?" Da 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 da. And then all of a sudden we're noticing everybody has the same scared face because it moves and it spells out their name. Do I remember the name right now? No, but I did remember the one rule is you say goodbye. And what bothered us is the reason why everybody turned pale white is because the name that was written out was found in the basement. After it was like, how the basements are like cemented?
Yeah.
It was engraved into the cement, kind of large. And we were like not even just like a 12 font print. No, I mean like probably the size of your hand sideways. It was fairly of a big carved in, and I kind of helped him move in. And that's when we first like officially saw it. And so I was like, I looked at him, and he was like, "Don't you look at me." And I was like, "Okay," because it sure wasn't me. And so we were kind of creeped out by that. But what had happened several months later, about 6 months later, I was pregnant, and I had moved in and whatnot. No, listen. I had moved in, and we're in his room. His room has 2 different locks. It has the doorknob lock, and then he has a latch lock on top. And so we're asleep. I'm like 6 months pregnant, I think. No, not 6 months. I'm sorry. I'm getting timeline wrong. A fair substantial amount of time passes by. I am now 6 months pregnant. This is 2014, because I found out I was pregnant in 2013. So 2014, somewhere around that time span, I'm about 6 months. And I'm sleeping on the edge. It's just easier for me to go potty, and I don't have to climb over my husband because our bed was up against the wall. When I tell you, I felt a cold breath in my face, and I heard a child giggle. Mind you, there is no children in this house. I am the only pregnant lady here, and I'm like, something told me in the back of my head, do not open your eyes. Because if I open my eyes, it wouldn't have been the best situation. That is that little tingle in the back of your head that be telling you maybe don't. That is the exact wording I heard in my head. So when I tell you I turned my big belly around with my eyes squinted shut, because they were shut before, but now they're squinted shut. And I start aggressively just shaking Jinx. Babe, wake up. Nope, wake up. And I start shaking him, and he looks at, like, I guess he opens his eyes. He's like, what? And I was like, switch sides with me, right now. Nope, I heard a little kid in my face. Because when you hear, like, no. I was not gonna, what the hell was I gonna do? I'm pregnant with my first. I'm a ripe 18, almost 19-year-old. You're not doing this to me. So when I tell you, I shoved my face into the wall, so there was no possibility of any gaps. Because at that point, if you followed me to this side of the bed and are gonna giggle in my face against the wall, you have something personal with me. And Jinx had even said that somebody had managed to unhook the lock on the top and unlock the door, but it doesn't make sense because it's not one of those key locks where you can unlock. Like, there was no, it's just like one of those like bathroom locks essentially. And I'm like, probably never again. And from that day on, I never slept on that side of the bed. I always slept on the wall in that house. But I will say I was not the only one to experience this child ghost in the house. My mother-in-law's boyfriend at the time had said he heard a little kid. I did have my brother-in-law who was like 12, but that's not a little kid. So he thought at first it was him who was running down the back. He heard the giggling. He goes to chase the kid down the stairs. Like, he actively saw the kid running, and he's like, what are you doing awake? It's like 2 a.m. He chases the kid, goes to the first floor, and goes, there's nobody here. There's no activity. So he goes back up, and Chet opens my brother-in-law's room and sees that he's sleeping. And that is when it dawned on him of what he saw. And he said, honestly, I almost shit my pants. Because he genuinely chased an apparition down the stairs. You could have got taken somewhere, my friend, and you almost did it.
What? Just wanted to play some hide and seek.
You just,
with your life.
I was like, damn, you fell for that hook, line, and sinker. What possessed you? I would have shouted at the kid, get your ass back up these stairs and go to bed. Not chase the kid like it's some game. No. Go ahead, Nova. Go ahead. Your story time.
My story time. Okay, so this was before my time. And this happened to my grandmother when they lived. My grandparents, for a good portion of their life, lived in a cabin in the middle of the woods, in the middle of buckfoot nowhere kind of thing. But prior to that, they lived in a suburban home kind of thing. Mind you, suburbia where I am is again in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, in the middle of a buttfuck forest. But when they were living in that house,
That sounds like a fun
Apparent-
forest.
but according to my grandmother, when they were living in that house, there was an entity of some sort that lived in there with them. And she has a feeling that it was a small child of some sort, because it liked to play games with her. And there was this one game that it really, really, really liked to play with her. Every night before my grandmother would go to bed, she would go into this room in her house. It was her Coca-Cola room. She had Coca-Cola paraphernalia from the floor all the way to the fucking ceiling.
Nice.
My grandmother fucking loves Coca-Cola.
I took my
but
grandma
she-
loves Betty Boo, so I get it.
So she would go into her Coca-Cola room and she would put this cross up on top of the door frame of the room, and then she would go to bed. But in the morning, she would wake up and she would go into her Coca-Cola room, and the cross would be off of the door frame and onto the little table that was in the room.
No.
And that was the game that they played, like, all the time. She would put it up at night, he would take it down, and she would put it back up, like, over and over and over again.
I'm surprised the little kid didn't get pissed off. Because I know they usually don't like that. So they're just like, he's just like, messing with me, lady.
Apparently, it was just a game. She called him Casper, her friendly ghost.
You know, as long as he was friendly, you know? Ooh, I do have one more, but it wasn't like an actual, like, it wasn't excessive, it wasn't like an excessive long event. Yes, we had the little child in our house, but we also had a grown man, and this grown man only liked to sit on the toilet and in the dark. And here's the thing:
you have Elvis in your goddamn house.
when I tell you, The only thing that made him scary was his just sheer size. He looked like he was 7 feet tall, but sitting. Does that make sense? He was just
Yeah.
enormous, and he didn't look like he didn't look like a chunky dude. He looked like he was the people who chop down trees. One of them.
Lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
He looked like a lumberjack. It was that build, and it was kind of intimidating. And you only time you saw the bathroom light had to be off. We eventually came up with a rule of no light. The bathroom light permanently stays on. That is the house night light, right? Because of him. Because whenever you pass by the bathroom, all the rest of the lights of the house could be on. If the bathroom light was off, he was sitting there menacingly, and you could see him kind of like a knee on, like his elbow on his knee, sitting, kind of looking in your direction, and it's kind of like I dare you. I dare you, come in here. And it would be terrifying because you would see him passing by, but you would never catch it staring straight. You know what I mean? It was just, you saw him from the corner of your eye, and it wasn't just me. It was everybody in the house saw him at least once or twice, more than we all cared to see him. And we would be like, God damn it, he's in the bathroom. And so we would turn to do a double take, and he would be gone. But that first take we all saw the same exact shape, doing the same exact thing. And we're like, we're gonna tape this light upwards. And there was one time that the lights had got, they were doing work outside, and they fucked up and knocked our light out. And so we were all like, put the night lights in the bathroom. You know those like little clicker lights that you get from the dollar store?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the one place I'm gonna need you to not be there right now, buddy. I need to still use my bathroom amenities without being scared as soon as evening hits. So yeah, that was a fun little adventure for quite some time. I don't know if he ever disappeared, or because the light still is on in the bathroom every time I go visit. The light does not get shut off.
I don't know about the rest of my family, but I had this one experience in my childhood home. So in my childhood home, we had like a really nice basement, but there was this one part of the basement, it was like a rec room type situation, but I always got the weirdest and creepiest of vibes from that like little rec room area. Like it had like a small room, and then it had a sauna, a bathroom, and the laundry room. And
a sauna, okay. Yeah, anyways,
yeah, it was a nice house. It was a really nice house.
okay.
But I swear to God, there was probably something living in that small corner of the house. I got the weirdest of vibes. But one night, I was particularly young, so I don't know if it was like a real encounter or maybe something just played a trick on me in my head. But I was laying in bed one night, and my foot was hanging outside of the blankets, almost like on the edge of the bed.
You don't do that. You don't
breaking
do that.
every rule.
Breaking every.
That is the first kid rule. Just no feet in blankie like a burrito.
But I
You
swear,
can't get me. I'm under the blanket.
I swear to fucking God, like it got really cold in my room, and then I felt something grab my foot, my ankle.
No.
El cucuy.
I know.
And I pulled my foot under the blanket so freaking fast after that happened. I swear to fuck.
Sounded like a spirit with a foot fetish.
Oh
I
my God.
don't know. Like I don't know about the rest of my family in that childhood home, but I got some spooky vibes in that house.
Of course.
The joke for a lot of Hispanic house homes is that there's always that one room that's like 10 degrees colder than anybody else's.
Of course.
So that's the cucuy room. That's the one that's always haunted.
Who did it? Who
That's where you
pressed the
throw. That's
button?
where you like throw a grandparent when
My-
they have to live with you.
My mom's in the other room and she can hear me, and as soon as I said that, she was like, same, as soon as you walk through the doors into that house, you just get spooky vibes.
So I managed to text my dad. He responded, and he has his own. He has
Oh,
a slightly scary story
Nice.
from. So, because this man is a commercial truck driver.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Oh no.
So
Oh, did he
I
see the
asked him,
black
like,
dog?
I don't know if you saw a black dog, but he says in certain streets
Mhm.
when driving, it's almost like you can feel the dead climbing onto and into the truck.
Yes, that is
And you feel
actually a
it when they
reoccurring
are
truck thing.
you'll feel it when they're next to you. The radio and lights will turn off, and you'll feel heavy and almost like a type of weight on you until you can get to a bit more of a crowded area,
I'm getting shivers.
and then
Okay.
that's when they leave.
They were
I
like,
don't
wait, I need some
remember
human
ever-
interaction.
Yeah, I don't ever remember experiencing any type of like legitimate ghost stories, just because my own brain's fucked up, so I probably overthought certain situations and thought it was ghosts.
I feel
But
like as
I
children
don't-
in general.
I don't think I've ever
So-
really experienced any type of paranormal thing. And again, I bring this back to my father's roots in Santeria, because from a young age they would always do these spiritual protection things on you.
Oh, was
So
that lucky?
I just assume they're still going strong,
You got that extra ward on you.
pretty much.
No, but I feel like
Because
all of
Santeria
kids are
is Christianity and voodoo mixed together.
yeah, but no, I feel
And
like all
there's-
kids to a certain age are more susceptible to the spirits because they're more wholesome, and they're
Mhm.
a new spirit unless they've been here before. But
And
like
you
some-
can't discount the fact that when you're a child, all of your senses are new. You haven't received enough, like you haven't damaged your eardrums enough as a
Mhm.
small child in order to be like, is that just tinnitus, or am I actually hearing something?
And,
you know,
and another reason that children are so susceptible, and
Mhm.
they say dogs and cats are as well, or animals in general.
Yes.
The reason for that and the science behind it is that kids haven't been what's the word I'm looking for?
They
Desensitized.
have their third eyes are still for some
The-
reason open as fuck while little.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he even gave me a video of
Okay,
that
well-
situation happening to a trucker.
Anyway, the point is that they haven't had the view of the world imprinted on them.
No.
Like there
Oh.
is a
Perception.
yes, they
Mhm.
so they haven't had that. Oh, it can't be this. There's got to be an explanation for it. Like they
Yeah.
haven't had that drilled into their brain yet by anybody else who doesn't believe in this. So they're so
Mhm.
susceptible because they still have that pure view of the world where something happens, they see it. Whereas if they tell an adult, and it's this way in a lot of horror movies, if they tell an adult's just like, oh, it's just your imagination. But it
Yeah.
probably wasn't. It very well could be something that's unexplained. But as an adult, you've been drilled through school and through that there's always a reason or always an explanation to everything. Kids don't have that. Animals don't have that. They see everything for what it is.
Can I have see the reason why I'm always so scary is because I swear as a kid I must have been followed a lot by different things depending on where I lived, because I promise you I could have sworn, like, yes, I would see trees, the shadow of a tree moving, but it would look like a man. I remember still that vividly being like 6 years old in my grandma's new house and still remembering a shape of the brain. My grandma's the one who told me it was probably just the shadow of the tree. But when I tell you, I could hear something scratching at my window, and I could hear, I could just like see the figure of an old man just hovering in the shadow of, because my bed was like up against the window, like, and I had like a bed, the thing that goes behind your mattress, the headboard. What's it called? I couldn't directly see out my window if I looked upwards. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't see anything. And this is the time I lived in Florida, so you're just like, the first floor is, well, it was only one floor house, but there's no basements because there's too much flooding going on. So you're level to the ground. And so if there was a man standing behind me, I would be able to physically see it, but I would always see his shadow, and it would bother. That's why eventually my grandma just like moved my bed from the window to like the side so I could have a clear view and be more calm about it. But I will say there has always been a reoccurring dream that didn't stop until I became an adult. And it happened from when I was a child up until I moved into the house that I had dreams of. And even a little bit after that as a trauma response. Do you care guys would like to hear it?
Go
Sure.
for it.
Go ahead.
And this is why I'm like, I'm not sure if I was receiving premonitions on how to avoid certain situation or I was just consistently being warned about it. But mind you, I'm no longer sensitive to things like that. I used to think I would become a medium. It just never happened. But when I was little, the first dream, it never changed. It was always the same exact dream. And it was me being in the dream about 10 years old, give or take. And it would be me and my sister in this one bedroom in the back of the house. And the layout of this house was my bedroom, and through the bedroom the only way to get to my bedroom was through what's the laundry room slash boiler room, because you would see the water heater there and whatnot. It's on the first floor, and to get to my room you had to get through the laundry room. And so I had this one window in the corner of my room, because it was like, you know, those apartments that are like they physically touch each other sideways.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of like apartment buildings. And so, you know, that's my room. And I remember seeing that the blinds were slightly broken, but the window was intact. And I remember seeing a pair of eyes from a grown man's face. I can't really get descriptive because now I'm older of how the face looked, but there was two men. One was more chunky and the other one was tall and thin. Not Slender Man tall, but fairly fucking tall. And I remember he wore glasses. Like that's the most that I can remember right now. But it was the thin man who was looking through the window. And I remember kind of getting really scared because we made eye contact. And I remember grabbing my little sister and running through the laundry room and hearing my window break. And immediately running through the house. And somehow now, and every single time, it never changed. The fire would start in my room. And it didn't make sense to me how or why. And so I dragged my sister, obviously like dreams love to do, through a long hallway now. To get to the living room. And from the living room is where I see now there's a fire in the kitchen. Because you could see the kitchen past the living room and whatnot. And I remember my stepdad and my mom at the time going, get out, get out, get out, go through the front, you know. And so we all chased to the front, and my stepdad decides to go in. I can't remember now why. He decides to go back in. And as I'm passing out through the front door, I remember seeing the chunkier man. Because there was two shadows in the window, but that's the moment I get to the hallway to get past, you know, to go out the front door is when I see a brief second of seeing the chunkier man, glare at me. It wasn't just like he saw me; he was glaring at me, and I remember still hearing screams in the house of my stepdad. I don't know if it was his screams, but it was after he went back in, and then the house being set further ablaze, and me not waking up until after I start seeing a shape come through the door. But I've never can I remember confirming who came through that door. But when I tell you I've had that dream several times between the ages of about 6 until I was about 12 years old, and I remember moving into that house when I was roughly 9 or 10 years old, when I had just moved up to New York State. And I remember being dead set on asking my mom, can you please, please, please put the TV stand in front of, not the TV stand, but like the dresser with the TV on it in front of the window. Because I don't want the possibility of looking in or out. And after we moved out, because I used to tell her about it and it would be the same dream. And she'd never really understood until I explained the layout of the house. And she was like, she kind of caught her breath because she remembered after the fact we already had moved in. So it fucked with her afterwards, after we had moved out, because she remembered me consistently reminding her that that was the nightmare, that was the thing. And funny enough, about a decade later, the house did catch on fire. I don't think there was any like casualties or whatnot. I think it was just like a couple apartments caught on fire, and that it just happened to be one of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at that. That was almost me.
Damn.
It tormented me for a long time.
Lord.
Huh?
All
That's why
right.
I'm like, I don't fuck with spooky shit. It's too real for me.
Yeah, no, that
I have.
you don't fuck with the old other world.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm glad you guys said that because I have one more little tale of morbid curiosity that I'll tell you about,
Oh, God.
and then we can get back to the
Zillow.
anime to finish it out.
Zelo's the naughty one.
By the way, I dropped
So-
the link my father sent me into Project UwU Gen Zero chat if y'all want to watch it. Pretty much an example of the story he gave me.
You.
I don't like talking about this particular item. It sits in my room. It's right behind me. Like I'm looking at it right now. There's a
Well,
painting
talking
I
about it,
have.
but it's in your room. What?
Yes, I
Phil, how white
don't-
are you?
draw attention to it. Okay. But for the sake of this podcast, I'm going to talk about it a little bit and the story behind this painting that I have.
You have to keep calling him every day just to check on him.
When this was a couple years ago, I've had this painting for 2 years at least.
It's a fucking
There is
pain.
a
God damn it, Zillow.
there was a flea market. It is since closed.
Oh,
That
God.
was near my house, and they had these two paintings. I have two of them. One of them is actually hidden behind a shelf. The other one sits out in the open. You can see it. Supposedly, I can't remember the lore behind it that I was given when I bought it, but they were painted by either a soldier who witnessed the horrors of the Holocaust,
Oh, God.
or it was painted by a survivor. I can't remember exactly the lore. It is a picture of a Jewish victim
Oh, no.
from a camp, and it is a very grotesque looking painting.
Why
And
did you
it was
purchase?
supposedly haunted. I got the
Okay.
lore for it, and morbid curiosity, I bought it. It was
Oh,
a
God.
yeah. It sits right here. This is just
Hey.
again another tale. I've never
Mhm.
noticed anything with this painting.
Mhm.
I've never, as some people do, I have never tried to talk to the painting or
Mhm.
stir anything up with the painting. It sits in my room. It is
Mhm.
on display, and it stays where it's at. I don't want to invoke anything from it, but again, it is a tale of morbid curiosity where there was this horrific tale attached to this painting, and
No.
when I heard the tale, I bought the painting. I have both those paintings in this room where I am recording, where I'm sitting right now talking to all of you. This painting sits between two shelves on my wall.
And then you
for all
wonder
to see.
why some of your tech stuff doesn't fucking work.
Zillow, I need you to burn that fucking painting.
I feel like burning
I
is
will
not.
not.
It might not help it. That might release whatever the hell's inside.
It-
You might be stuck
The
with it. At
fact
this
that you
point, just
have
sell
blood
it.
It has
out in
never
the
caused me
open.
any trouble. I have never noticed anything wrong with it. I leave it be. I display it. If nothing else, then as a homage to the painter who had seen some graphic shit, and this was his way of expressing what he saw. If nothing
Please
else.
tell me you at least have like a salt circle around it.
No, it is actually
It's
on
the fact that he has one in display and then one behind a shelf.
It is just a
That's so
canvas
silent
board
too, like.
that just it literally there is a ledge like on my wall. There is a ledge on the concrete.
I don't know
And
what
it
disturbs
literally
me
just
more.
I don't have it secure to the wall. It just leans on that ledge against the wall.
I'm gonna need you to put salt on that ledge of the wall. But hear me out.
Mhm,
I don't know what
mhm.
disturbs me more: the painting that can see you, or the painting that you can't see.
The other one, I don't even remember what the painting looks like.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
put a
I
new
don't know
shelf
which
up.
one disturbs me more.
The painting is behind the shelf,
Mhm.
and like I said, I don't mess with them. I don't move them. They stay where they're at. I don't disturb them. Just like I said, I am a believer in this stuff. I bought these paintings because of the stories behind them.
Mhm.
I was told that there is a possibility that they are haunted, and I bought them, and they are here with me.
You know what? They haven't fucked with you. Don't fuck with them. Just for now, maybe, because hopefully they can't hear me. But maybe resell. I get it. You bought it because morbid curiosity, but the curiosity has been I feel like for as long as you've owned it, has been utilized. I feel like the curiosity should be gone. So maybe now.
Yes,
Maybe
like I
you
said, Draco, because you don't like talking about it, but you have it. I
Huh?
don't mind having it. I don't like drawing attention to it, and I don't like the idea of it being disturbed. It has its place, and it stays in its place.
Hold on, I'm gonna watch
God,
this
you're
video.
so. What? You don't want to
I'm
watch
so
it?
what?
Watch it.
Oh, I'm watching the video. The video he posted.
Did you say were you gonna say I'm so white?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am, dude.
It's
I
the
love
fact
this
that you-
shit.
It's
I
the
just-
fact that you have one behind a shelf with one's out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's almost every.
It's like a portal at this point.
It's like every Silent Hill game when you're trying to find something.
Resident Evil game, you move a shelf, and there's the item you need. I get it.
Also,
That's
I'm trying to
the
watch
second
this
painting's the one with
video.
all the answers.
I'm trying to watch this video, Draco, but I can't understand it. I don't speak Spanish.
It's in Spanish,
I don't-
unfortunately. So
I-
basically, the guy is radioing in how it's pretty much the premise of that story where he is driving through the area, and it's in the midst of it where it's pretty much all road, no lights, no nothing, and he is by himself. He doesn't have another person in the truck. Some truckers do like to pair up, depending on how long of a long distance.
I was about to ask, is that a passenger sitting in his passenger seat?
He didn't go with the passenger. That's the thing.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, I just want
That's
to
a
know. 'Cause, like,
full-blown
there is
fucking
legitimately
spirit.
someone sitting in the fucking passenger seat. I don't need to
Yeah, that's
understand
a-
what they're saying.
But
That's
doesn't
the
help
whole spirit. That's
that she
the
looks like she's in a
phenomenon
wedding
he-
dress.
That's the phenomenon of the dead climbing into their fucking trucks and none of their lights work until they get to the like
So
a
is she
trucker
for real?
stop area.
Also,
My cat
Draco,
just-
I swear to God,
Who did that?
if
Oh,
if
Hey.
if there is a jump scare in this video, I'm bitch
No, it's
slapping
There
you
is
through
not.
it's not.
this.
I 100%. I promise you, there is no freaking jump scares in this one. I watched it like 2 times just to make sure I
Mhm.
didn't miss anything.
No jump scare. Just simply what the fuck. But to be fair, the way she's looking at him, she looked kind of thirsty. I'm gonna be honest. She looked like, cause the way she's leaning, in a bridal puffy, like she has puffy sleeves, so it makes me believe that she's wearing like a bridal white gown. And so I'm seeing a woman who's just staring at her, just like, what the fuck? She either is very attracted to this man, or she might believe that he's the one who offed her in the middle of the road. There's no in between.
But yeah, that is that's I guess what my dad's story around truckers go through.
Hmm.
It makes it creepier because remember he's out in Mexico where he trucks, so
Mm-hmm.
Also,
And
just a word of
Mexico
warning:
has
you can
its own-
auto translate the subtitles to English.
You can?
Yes.
Sorry.
Excuse
So,
me?
you know those spirits out there are kind of fucked up too.
To be fair, from all the horrific things that happen in Mexico and all the other South America countries, I would believe they have some horrific ghost stories to tell.
All right. Do we want to talk a little bit more about the anime?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't really given us, because you said you jumped to season 3, so I mean, if you want to give us
Yes, I jumped to season 3, so I'm going to talk about how many episodes did I end up putting on this list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9.
Okay.
The
Raleigh.
first episode of season 3 revolves. It's called "Lend It to Me." There is a guy walking who finds a public bathhouse.
Mhm.
And he decides to go in, wash the sweat off, take a shower, relax for a little bit. He gets in, it's completely empty. There's an old woman who works at the front desk who gives him a towel, a bar of soap, and some shampoo.
Mhm.
Um, he goes into the bathhouse, finds it's completely empty, and proceeds to take a shower. As he's showering, he hears from the woman's side of the bathhouse a girl who asks, "I forgot to get soap. Can you lend it to me?" So he does. He lends the soap, throws it over, says, "Here you go. I'm done with it anyway." Proceeds to continue, goes to relax in the actual bath.
Mhm.
And the girl asks, "Hey, there's no buckets over here. Can you lend it to me?" The guy stops to question for a minute. This is a little weird. I can't believe there's not any buckets over there, but maybe they're all in use. He can't see on the woman's side.
Mhm.
There's just a wall that has a little hang on it where he's throwing the stuff over to her. So he says, "Yeah, I can give you one. Hold on a second." So he throws her the bucket over. A couple minutes later, she comes back and she asks for a razor.
The hell?
He says, I don't have a razor. I didn't get one. I just have soap and a towel."
Mhm.
She says, "Okay, I'll find something." And then you hear her mumbling how it's going to be hard to cut through without something like scissors or something.
Oh god.
And then she starts asking him to lend his hair, and then his fingers, and then his arm. And then at the end, he decides to wash his hair and get out. Why did he decide to wash his hair and not just leave when she's taking? I don't know, but she didn't. He decided he was going to finish his shower. Man's determined. As he's finishing his shower, the girl pops up over the shower banister with a pair of scissors and attacks him.
Well, shit.
I would
It
have
was-
left after she asked for the razor because at that
That's
point
what I said.
I was going to the front desk and be like, "Hey, there's a lady in the showers that she said that she needs a razor. Do you mind taking it to her?" Like being like, if anything, I was trying to be a courteous person and getting her a fresh razor. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if the lady would have told me there's nobody in the woman's side, that would have been my ticket to leave. Right there. That would have been
Yep.
confirmation. Nope.
I would be like, "Peace the fuck out."
Matter of fact,
what a
I would
way
have
to
sent the
get
lady,
vibe
go get my
checked, huh?
clothes, bro. Go get my clothes.
Yeah, that was probably the weakest of the ones that I decided to talk about. But I was like, it's the first episode, and it's really creepy when you're watching it, and you start hearing her name all these different items off, and
Mhm.
slowly progress towards, "Hey, I'm going to take your body parts."
I'm just like, why
It
did
was
you
really
let
creepy.
it get to body parts, bro?
At that point, you gotta fight in the shower to survive.
Yeah, like it's completely silent. Like the only noise is when this girl asks him to lend her. Like there is no evidence that anybody else is over there, and she's asking to borrow things that the buckets that she's talking about in those shower houses are stored on each side. There is a place for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
My
yeah,
thing is,
very weird.
this is
Ignoring red flags and gets himself killed for it.
it kind of resembles in season 1, with the little girl who makes the promise of playing with that shadow later. I don't wait. Let me see what episode this was. I posted it into Project UwU, but I think I wrote it like Shadow Girl, the girl with the shadow, episode 12. These remember the little group of boys who were just staring at a shadow on the floor. Little girl in her school uniform passes by, and the boys are like, "Hey, do you want to play with?" They said a name, but I can't remember what it was. But they essentially had named the shadow, and that the shadow wanted to play with her. And she's like, "Well, actually, I'm on my way to like secondary classes or study hall or something. I can't right now, but I promise I'll come back later." Why did she make a promise to these random kids that you don't know? I don't know. So they were like, "Oh, okay, it'll be fine." She promised, is what they say. As soon as she hits the corner, goes into her apartment. She gets into her apartment and she looks. The kids are immediately gone. They're not there no more. And I was like, that's the first red flag. How did you not immediately start panicking at that point? I don't know. She probably thought they just ran off. A couple days pass, and I guess she works, and so they see her again while she has her bike. And he was like, "Oh, the shadow said that you were gonna be here, and you remember you promised to play with them." And she goes, "How the hell did you know I was gonna be here?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to work." Then that same day she gets home from work. And now the kids show up to her front door, and because she's tired, you know, she's like, oh, I'm so tired, a hard day at work, whatever the case may be, and she opens the door to the kids going, hey, have you seen our shadow friend? No, what are you talking about? And then one of the kids look into her apartment and notices in the ceiling there is a shadow. Oh, there he is. And she looks back and she's like, the hell are you talking about? No, he's not here. Can we come in? We want to play with him. And you promised to play with him too. He said he was going to come over to your place. And mind you, all the flags right there. She says, no, now leave me alone and get out. She closes the door. She then walks to her couch that's facing the shadow. She starts staring at it. And then she looks out the window and sees all the boys staring and pointing at the shadow. And then went and said, she promised to play with him. And then you just see like it sucking her up into the shadow. And then the last scene, I'm just like, y'all just got this girl killed, first of all. Because now there's two shadows outside in the playground where they were basically met. And the boys are surrounding them and like, see? She kept her promise. They're playing together now. And you see her figure with the figure of the boy. And I'm just like, the fuck? Why would you make a promise? He done took your ass. Because why did you promise? The fuck is you giving things to people?
These selfish ass kids can't understand an adult's tired after work.
It wasn't even an adult. I think she was like a teenager, like maybe high school. Because she was also kind of short. So at the end of the day,
At the end of the day, don't fucking make a promise to a goddamn shadow.
Don't ignore kids. A lot of horror movie and people in these stories would survive if they just stopped ignoring the damn kids.
Yeah.
It's just so creepy. Just how many of these stories.
My thing is, she even questioned it. How did they know that I was gonna be here right now? Bitch, the shadow. He told you that the shadow told them.
Shadows know all your deepest secret.
Well, yeah, they're your shadows.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
I love how Nova is small.
Small.
She is just so small.
Sorry,
All right.
Nova's fidgeting like a lot, and it's fucking with the tracking.
It's okay. What's it called? I just noticed that I had looked back at the screen because right now I'm eating pizza, but all of a sudden I looked and all I saw was the most smallest of Novas.
So the
Oh my
second episode that I have on this list
Uh-huh.
is called Tunnel.
Okay.
There are two guys they're driving along and they're running out of gas. And they come to a road that leads up the mountain. But in front of them there's a tunnel. And one guy says tunnel's not on the map. What do? They proceed to drive through the unknown tunnel.
The answer would have been no.
About halfway through, it didn't help them not run out of gas because their car broke down inside of the tunnel. They never got to the outside of the tunnel.
Dumbass.
They are stuck in the tunnel. It cuts to them pushing the car through the tunnel. They got out of the car. They're pushing the car along. I don't remember if they just got sick and tired of pushing the car or something had happened that they get back in the car and they're just relaxing inside the car in the next shot.
Okay.
And outside of their window are two kids dancing outside their window.
No.
They're disturbed.
No. Yeah.
These kids dance along the side of the car, up to the front of the car, and then slowly start to rise. And you notice that there's just this stick underneath the faces, underneath the heads.
Okay.
As a minute where it shows that their heads that they just keep extending up, and then you notice that their faces are attached to the feet of a spider creature.
Oh, lovely.
Huh?
And then the faces start pounding on the windshield trying to break it. And one of the dudes in the front seat realizes, oh shit, the back window's down. And tries to reach back to roll it up. Can't reach it. And the faces that are attached to the spider's legs are forced into the car, and you just hear screaming. The next shot cuts to another car, and this old man drives up and gets out and says, "Oh shit, I think I hit something." And goes, he does an inspection, doesn't see anything, gets back in, and the kids are. And as the video closes, it pans out, and there's a bunch of monsters with human faces. I wrote in my notes, I was like, possibly victims, like the victims that they kill become a new monster or are implanted on the body of the monster that killed them. But that was the tunnel.
It was a burrow. That's what that was. If you say it's a spider creature, it was definitely a burrow.
I think it was a portal. Honestly, this goes back to what Nova was and I were talking about at the beginning, where there's just not enough information. I think this tunnel was a portal because, like I said, there's not just that spider creature you find out at the end of the episode. Like it shows there are many more creatures. It just happened to be the spider creature that was the focus.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
There are otherworldly creatures with human faces.
Well, that's what they get for being nosy, let's be honest. You knew that you're supposed to go one way, but you were like, ooh, let me reroute. Because morbid curiosity.
I'm sorry, if you
my
have
dumbass friends would have yelled secret tunnel before we went through.
I'm not gonna lie, this entire time while Zelo has been speaking, it's just been playing in my head. Secret tunnel!
Ain't no secret tunnel I want to go.
No, this is why I would never go cave touring unless like it's with
cave
a catalog. Huh? Cave is it called cave diving?
It's called cave diving.
Yeah,
I have seen too many videos where that too. I have seen too many videos of these people that are like they're so tight and like their noses are the only thing sticking out of water while they're crawling on their backs with the fucking edge of the tunnel right there. I can't. Nope, I'm done. I'm
suffocating and I'm just watching.
Yeah. I'm stuck there. I don't care. I'm not moving.
I feel bad for that gentleman where they had to close the cave because he fell down, was attempted to be rescued, and fell down even further. And he just stopped responding after a certain amount of hours, and so they just had to literally bury him, possibly alive, so that nobody else would follow that same path. I'm just like, that's just terrible. I'm just like, I don't know. I get it. People are thrill seekers. But my claustrophobia could never. It's part of the reason why I have thalassophobia. If I cannot see the bottom of the water, that means whatever's in it can see me, and I'm towards the light. They're in the darkness. I don't need that in my life. There has been a few scary movies that have told me there are things in the caves that stay in the caves, and aren't the nicest of things in the caves. So no, you know what? That's two risks. Suffocation and suffocation. I have to sing it, but suffocation. No breathing. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna stay over here with my oxygen. You hear that? You hear how big my lungs just expanded? You can't expand your lungs in a cave. Can't even take a tank down with you either, because I know caves usually are low in oxygen, and that is one thing. They're lower in oxygen. So you gotta control your breathing in general, just to make sure you have oxygen to breathe. Because in taking too much CO2, obviously you're gonna pass out. So it's like you can't even take an oxygen tank because it's fatter than your head. What else, guys? What do you have that third episode for us, Zelo?
I got a lot of episodes.
Well, then bring them on.
All right, the next one is called Rat, and this one features the first dumbass husband of my episodes. So, This one starts on a couple who moves into a new apartment. New to them, they even admit that it is a dilapidated apartment. As they're moving in boxes, the wife sees a rat. What's the husband's
Kill it.
response? Oh, you'll get used to it. It's an
Oh,
old
fuck.
house. We'll get used to it. Yep.
No, sorry.
Yep. that was my first instinct too. So they go to I assume they move in. It cuts to night. They're laying in bed. And the wife hears a rat scurrying around. She gets bit by the damn rat.
I would have took upon myself to stab the thing. I'm sorry. I know we usually
In the
try to be
morning-
humanitarian, but I'm stabbing it.
Did this husband take her to the hospital? Did this husband say, shit, maybe we should call an exterminator? No, he lays out a trap, puts a band-aid on her finger. Just want to throw this out there for anyone wondering why I'm making a big deal about this. Rats still carry the fucking bubonic plague.
Yeah.
They do.
So
And rabies.
and rabies and a whole lot of other really bad stuff that you don't want in your body. She was bit by one, and her husband put a band-aid on it and put a little rat trap. Not one of those like traps that kills the rat. No, one that he'll get in there and he'll be nicely safe with some
Like a
cheese.
cage. The cage one.
But yeah, like it literally looked like a hamster cage that he put out
Oh my
with just
god.
some cheese inside of it.
Okay.
So he leaves to go on a business trip. He's leaving
What?
for 2 days. And
Oh,
she says,
God.
I don't want you to leave. Don't leave. I gotta leave. You'll be fine. You'll get used to him.
I'm going to my mom's.
You'll learn to live with them.
No.
She
No.
goes to sleep that night. She's curled up in a ball, shivering. At first, I thought she was having like nightmares. Like, obviously, I kind of saw where this one was going.
Mhm.
But she's shivering. I thought she was having nightmares, but she's not. Like, it slowly starts to creep into your headphones if you watch it with headphones. There's rats scurrying everywhere around her. They're on the shelves. They're all over the room. They're in the room next to her. Like, she hears these rats everywhere.
I thought it was a
It
fever at
cuts
first.
to the husband returning. He
Mhm.
says, I'm home. You hear the wife in the bedroom say, welcome home. The door opens, and the wife steps out as a rat creature.
That's what she-
Her
That's what he
her final thing that she says, you're right. I learned to live with them.
Oh no.
Crazy. I feel like, to be fair, I'm not blaming the wife, but you can't tell me we just moved into this house and you're just now exhibiting red flags. I feel like there was red flags before in this relationship that she blatantly just chose to ignore. Probably moved to this house against her will in the
Had to
first
be.
place.
Like I said, this is the first dumbass husband.
The whole mess. Like, you what? Excuse me? You don't love your life, Tico? Honestly, though, I would have honestly, if like, let's say we're ignoring I got bit, right? We're ignoring I got bit, and he put a band-aid on it, probably kissed my boo-boo, whatever the case may be. Now, when you went to business trip, and I'm scared of the rats in my house, and you'll be back in 2 days, all right, I'm going to my mom's or my mother-in-law's, and when you come, the day you come back is when I'll come back. I'm not, no, you're not leaving me in a brand new house by myself. What's wrong with you?
No.
I'm still unpacking.
Damn straight. But yeah, that was the first male significant other.
But give us another one so we could bash more husbands. Let's go.
There will be another one coming up in 2 stories, but I got to do this one first because
Okay.
this plays into the morbid curiosity thing we were talking about, and it also plays into the there is too much that happened and not enough substance. What the fuck?
Okay.
So, the
Break it
noisy
down,
hospital
Mr.
room.
Okay.
It opens on a dream that this patient in a hospital is having about a hospital room within the hospital that is noisy. He wakes up, he's sweating, he says he needs to wash it off. He walks through this entire hospital and doesn't see one person.
First red flag. Go ahead.
As he continues to walk, he sees a flashlight that a nurse is holding, and he follows the nurse and calls out for her. She ignores him and keeps walking. He follows her. He follows this nurse to the room of the hospital that he had a dream about.
Okay. What next?
There is an elderly patient standing outside of this room. He asks about the room. The elderly patient says nothing. And it cuts to the next morning. The dude looks through his window into the wing where this noisy hospital room is, and a nurse with a blank fucking stare says, "Don't go near that hospital room. Don't open that door. That is off." He asks why, and she says, "Hospital rules." His reaction, "Hospital rules my ass. I just want one peek." So what's he do? He goes in. The noise is like deafening. Opens the door. Completely empty hospital room. He goes back to his room, and he hears the laughter and sees the light back on in the hospital room. And then watches it go up the corridor and go into his hallway, and watches as it gets closer to his door. And then 3, I can only call them surgeons, monstrous surgeons, appear. And he asks, "What are you going to do with those?" And it cuts back to the elderly man standing outside the room, and the blank stare nurse telling the elderly man, "Don't open that door. Hospital rules."
Damn.
Now, there is one thing I want to point out about this story that I didn't mention because I have no idea how it plays in or why it plays in. But there, in his dream, and at the very end, after whatever happened to him happened, there is a truck with people standing on the back of it, like silhouettes of people that leave the hospital. There's no explanation for what it is. There's no hint at what it is. The only thing I can imagine is that these surgeons are ghosts that the hospital is like, "Hey, we leave that room alone. We feed you guests, like we feed you people to do your thing with, and that's what the truck is for." But they don't give any substance exactly.
So what about he never got to wash his face off though? Because he walked throughout the whole hospital, never giving us context.
Yeah, he never washed the sweat off.
It's bothering me. He never.
I don't know.
got to wash
It cuts from him meeting the elderly man outside of that hospital room to him being back in his bed.
He's in a loop. He is part of the loop now. He did it to himself. Honestly, ain't got nobody else to blame but himself. He was given blatant.
I want to point out, yes, I want to point out exactly what you're getting ready to say. There is a difference between morbid curiosity and hospital rules. If somebody in a hospital that is operational tells me, "Hey, that room is off limits," my morbid curiosity isn't going to drive me to open that hospital. That's probably some shit I don't want to see in a hospital.
Exactly. Right. Who knows?
They're either keeping dead bodies in there.
Oh my god, you imagine it's
all the laughter and everything that's coming from that room. That could be an entrance into the mental ward. Like that could be where they house people who need psychiatric help and are in the hospital to get it.
Exactly.
Like it's a place. The hospital said its rules. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, that's bullshit."
I mean, it could be even somebody who. It could be somebody who like was in prison, got shanked up really badly, but is low key crazy. So like you go into their room, he probably strong enough to break the straps. You know how they strap them down? Like even maybe he's not handcuffed, but he's like fully strapped down. But there's a chance that he might go crazy and just straight up rip them all and get you. Just like, nope, don't even go in there. You might set them off. Like there's a million and one scenarios. That's just like, okay, let me listen to the nurse.
Like I'm saying, morbid curiosity would be, "Hey, this is an abandoned hospital. Nobody works here. Nobody lives here. Nobody's here. There might be some ghosts here." That's morbid curiosity. This is just blatantly breaking the rules of a fully functional hospital.
I don't know. I feel like anything with a do not enter sign should just be like, maybe no, maybe. Should just go
it was fairly creepily done, but like I said, there just wasn't enough substance. Like I don't know if the hospital was feeding these people or feeding these entities human subjects or what, but I still don't know what that truck was for and why every night it would pass the window coming from that room.
probably to get rid of the bodies that the entity takes.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Mhm.
it's all just context clues right now, though. Like, there's no substance or no explanation for what it is.
Yeah, no,
Um,
the entity probably chooses who they want to
or
take.
actually,
And then the body
let me
just
do this
ends
real
up dying, and then the hospital is responsible. All right, well, he got another one, boys. We're just gonna do. John Doe, this motherfucker right here. Does he have any family? Nope. All right, put him in room 104, and that's the haunted room.
Okay, we'll come back to this at the end real quick. I'm gonna read you this because this might actually have some more detail.
Okay.
But the second one, not the second one, but the next one features our second male dumbass significant other.
Our himbo. Let's go.
So
Let's
this
go.
one is called Museum of Taxidermy.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
It opens on a couple who visits said Museum of Taxidermy. They go up, they get tickets, they walk through it. Nothing seems amiss. And they're looking, and this girl is captivated by this. I think it was, but she's like captivated by this taxidermied wolf, and the dude scares her and pisses her off, and she storms out and goes back to their hotel room. All fine, all dandy. Dude deserves it. She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene cuts to the dude returning to the hotel room, knocking on the door without the girl answering.
I mean, I would assume she left.
He can't find his key to the hotel room.
Okay.
He goes to check the front desk. The front desk doesn't have it. So he goes back at night to the taxidermy museum.
Bugging.
He walks up and says, "I can't believe there are people still here." And the response from the dude working the front desk is, "Welcome, please enjoy, come on in."
Okay.
Sounds normal enough.
So
like a trap,
he turns the corner and gets spooked by what he sees of like taxidermied humans,
Okay.
and bumps the dude at the front desk, knocks him over, and realizes there's a voice box inside of a taxidermy dummy.
Oh,
He runs up to the
no.
security guard and looks at the security guard and realizes the security guard is a taxidermy dummy.
How did he not notice the first time? Was the lips moving or something? Like, huh? Was he not looking at the face?
I don't think he was looking at the face because the dude was apparently a taxidermy dummy the whole time. I don't think they ever paid attention. He gets blindsided by taxidermist, and the final shot is him and the girl, half of them each, taxidermy together.
Oh, no.
I thought baby girl got away.
She did not. But at some point, his key was taken from him, and she was alone because he scared her and pissed her off.
Right. It makes sense. She got taken.
We don't know if she ever made it back to the hotel.
No, she didn't. She for sure didn't. And she probably had the key on her and not on him. You know what I mean? So she probably had the key, and when she left, like she said, "I'm leaving." Took the key, or had the key in her purse, or whatever the case may be, and just got snatched up before even leaving out the front door. Is what my presumption is.
Yep.
It would be creepier if she made it back to the hotel and got taken from the hotel.
All right, I'm gonna skip one of these.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's a great one. Which one do I want to tell? Let's tell this one. So this one is called Behind. So there's a school field trip happening, and we open on the boys' dormitory where they're sleeping for this field trip. There are 3 boys who are sitting here having a chat, and one of the boys says, "I don't really want to go to sleep. I've been having a nightmare. And the other two boys start making fun of him. And then he's like, this is why I didn't want to tell you guys about it. And they apologize, and they're like, well, what's the dream about? And he says, well, it has to do with all of us. He says the whole class is in it. I'm sitting in the front, and I can hear everybody behind me laughing, having a good. And then the door opens, and something walks in. The only thing about whatever walks in is that we all know we can't look at it. But you can hear it walking through and making noise, and it gets to him, and it grabs his head. And just as I'm about to see its face, that's when I wake up. And they said, well, it's a good thing it's only a nightmare. We should all probably get some sleep. When this first opened, they were talking about going to the girls' dorm too. It doesn't really play in for any reason, but just that's what the conversation was on. Just obvious, like, high school age kids. So that night, one of the boys, not nightmare, but one of the other ones wakes up and has to use the bathroom. As he's leaving to go to the bathroom, he sees his friend's head shaking. And he goes, oh, he must be having his nightmare. And then his head completely twists. And then one by one, every other boy in that dormitory, their head twists.
Oh, no.
Every single one of them, neck break, eyes bulging out, 360 twist. In horror, he backs up to the door. The door opens, and the entity from the main dude's dream grabs him by the head and says, I can't look, but I can't close my eyes. As the entity slowly moves his head towards her face.
Oh, no.
And it ends on a shot of her face, and it is also a completely twisted around head with the eyes bulging.
I see. So, like, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
For a second, I was hoping that this poor guy was gonna get spared because he just happened to wake up, so he didn't have to experience what everybody else was going through. Or there might be a plot twist. What everybody else didn't die, and he was the only one that did. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he experienced moments before he died. He had a hysteria.
I don't think it was ever a dream. I think it was his mind said, I'm asleep, this is a dream, but reality was that this creature was stalking them as they were all sleeping.
But why not break his neck sooner? I don't know.
That's the details we don't get because it's only minutes of content.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's why I thought for a second, like, he was spared because he woke up before she could get to his dream. And so she had to physically go open the door and be like, hey, buddy.
Open your this dude didn't. Well, no, because he told the other two guys about the dream he was having, and they laughed at him like they weren't having the same dream. I was going to say maybe like everyone was thinking about it, but he literally tells these two other kids, hey, this is my dream. And they don't go, oh, I've had a similar dream. They were like, oh, at least it's just a nightmare.
What I'm thinking is he was given a premonition of what was about to go down to give a warning, but since nobody acknowledged it or did anything to prevent it, it just came to fruition.
Because he was worried about the consequences, he had a nightmare. He didn't tell anybody. He only told these two, and these two made fun of him and didn't listen.
So what I'm hearing in all of this is that these episodes really just need to be longer than like 4 fucking minutes.
Yes.
Honestly, yes, because they're actually stories.
It's like a 2 minute dedicate like 2 minutes right after each thing to explain what the origin or whatever it is.
Since we're talking about this, I want to go back to the Museum of Taxidermy and read the actual synopsis for it on Wikipedia.
Go for it.
Actually see if this adds a little bit more. Speaking of which, for anyone who does watch this, just know that reading these synopses on Wikipedia takes about just as long to watch the episode. So you're probably, it's probably a good idea to have Wikipedia for the episode while you're watching it, because it provides more details and stuff for a couple of them. Okay, so, oh no, I wasn't going to read the Museum of Texture. I was going to read the Noisy Hospital Room. A patient walks down a hospital hallway. He hears laughter coming from a room. He opens the door to find himself on an operating table, surrounded by surgeons with huge laughing mouths for faces. He wakes in a cold sweat in his hospital room. He tries to call a nurse, but the call button fails and the front desk is vacant. On his way back, he sees a nurse walking down a dark hallway with a flashlight. He follows but loses her when he bumps into an elderly patient. He realizes he's in from his dream and it's 2:15 a.m. Down the hall, he sees the lit room with laughter emanating from it and recalls that a nurse warned him to stay away from it. Suspicious, he opens the door. The room is empty and dark. Back in his room, he hears laughter outside his door and hides under the covers until all is quiet. When he peeks out, he is surrounded by surgeons with huge laughing mouths for faces. He tells himself it's just a dream before joining in the laughter. Outside the operating room, the old patient hears the noise, and the nurse reappears, telling the patient to stay away from the room.
I'm hearing I still hear it as he's stuck in a loop. Because he didn't listen the first time, he's not going to listen the second, third, fourth, etc. His soul decided to ignore that nurse's warning, and now he's permanently stuck in a loop.
I think it's like you said earlier. I don't think it's so much that he's stuck in a loop. Premonition. He was
the first time was probably
apparently
the premonition.
When the nurse tells him that he shouldn't go into that room, it was actually before even the initial dream that he had. It was a flashback. I missed that part. It was a flashback where he had learned to stay away from this room. Then he had his premonition, and then he ended up in the exact position he was in his dream at 2:15 a.m. And instead of walking away, he did the same exact thing he did in his dream.
Yep. So he had the premonition, but because he ignored it, I feel like it's a duality of it. He was given a chance to not make the same mistake in his dream, still chose to, and now he's going to be permanently stuck because now it's just it's done again. It happened again, where he's now looking from the other side of the situation. Instead of standing next to the old man, he is now on the table looking at the old man through the door, or whatever the window, whatever the case may be. Oh my god, my nose. Oh my god, we made it to 2 hours, guys.
We made
This
it.
was great. Oh my god. Overall, I would say this collection of anime, or I feel like it's not even properly anime. It's more like the puppetry kind of.
It's animated, not so much
and
the anime style. Like when you think of anime, you think of like One Piece and stuff. But this is more of an animated artistic style.
Yes, because the characters, they move in a puppetry kind of style, like paper puppets.
Anything.
Yeah.
But damn, I'm gonna keep watching every episode.
It is really good for somebody who doesn't like spooky stuff. It is just enough spook and in like detectiveness that it makes you want to continue watching them to break them apart. And I feel like that's what I really liked about it.
Sitting here thinking about it now, it's actually very good at one thing. Like the fact that it's so short, it leads to so many questions that you just keep watching.
And you never get the answers.
But it keeps you entertained.
Like you said, you sat down to watch 3 episodes and you watched 10.
True.
Like it doesn't give you the answers you're looking for, but I'm just gonna say it, morbid curiosity. What happens in these next episodes? Do we ever get a complete episode? Like, holy shit, everything comes full circle if you think about it that way. Like, I hope they did that on purpose because that is brilliant.
It is. It is, and if that's the case, we're all stuck in their own little genjutsu that they created for us, and it's fucked.
Yup.
Well, closing remarks, friends.
I will save my closing remarks if anyone else has anything. Anything you're doing this week? Anything?
I mean, I kept saying it for a couple weeks now, but I will have my own little Halloween little thing going on this Wednesday. Cosplay has officially arrived. Have tried it on. I'd say it looks pretty decent. So that'll be fun. It'll be a later in the night kind of an event. But I want to say, because today is the Halloween special, oh, and you guys will be seeing this probably just a little bit after Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Happy
Halloween,
Halloween.
friends.
Yeah. You guys are a bunch of weenies. Little Halloweenies, if you will. That's all.
Oh,
That is all.
you
No,
got
no.
anything you want to say, Nova?
I mean, I don't got much going on. Your girl's working this week.
Feel that? Feel that?
But I mean, same thing I say every week. You can follow all of us on Twitch and at other various different social media websites at our own individual handles. Starting from right to left, you can follow our dragon boy over there, Draco, at Draco Storm on various different platforms. Then you can follow our wolf captain pirate individual at Zelo Wolf on all of the various different social media platforms. Then our beautiful, beautiful cat girl, Desiree Lovely, our Neko Mama. You can follow her at Desiree Lovely, various different social media platforms, and then also myself at Momanova VT. You can find me everywhere at that handle.
Mm-hmm.
Follow these beautiful people. They are wonderful. They are funny. They are entertaining. They are wonderful. Just do
Nova
it.
is too. Follow her too.
Shush! I'm plugging you guys.
Well, I'm plugging you.
Well, thank you. Also, happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, Draco. Do you have anything?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm doing any streams myself. I know I'm working the day of Halloween, and my friend wanted to hang out, so I might just do that. So Halloween's on Thursday, right? Not Friday?
Yes.
Yes, Halloween is on Thursday.
So yeah, I might go hang with him, because I know he had the day off. But, if I do decide to stream anything on my own channel, I will make sure to make a post on Blue Sky. I've pretty much given up on Twitter. I legit think I'm shadow banned to hell and back.
There is, I'll be honest, Twitter has gone very quiet except for art bots. It has become kind of a graveyard in the VTuber community, at least, that I am involved in.
Listen, I go there just for the spicy art at this point, nothing else.
You know, valid.
Respectable.
But other than that, I know I'll be streaming with Zelo on Tuesday and Friday again. What we'll do, I'm assuming Zelo Tuesday we're gonna knock out more Left 4 Dead maps.
Yes, the plan is to, given our sanity can handle it. Obviously, they threw that fucking 5 tank chapter at us the last time. As long as our sanity can handle it, we're gonna knock as much as we. Our plan was to be done and play through the entire Left 4 Dead 2, Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 by Halloween. So hopefully we're able to knock. I don't think we have too much left. I know there's a couple short stories in Left 4 Dead 2 maps, but yes,
Yep.
Tuesday will be Left 4 Dead 2, and then Friday kind of gets left up in the air.
Yeah, last Friday we fucking did Fortnite and.
Friday is
And
payday.
we
If they
just,
still have the horror skins in Fortnite, it might be.
I feel like it'll last slightly longer than Halloween by at least a week.
Me.
Oh my god, I gotta go. Actually, now that I think about it, I have to go back and watch that entire stream to get the moments that I thought that it was clip worthy.
there were quite a few different clippable moments that actually had me in tears. I was like, that's the moment right there. That's it.
I just think it was
wish
miraculous how I told you that bullying you makes you feel better, and I started bullying you and your nose cleared. I'm just saying, call me a doctor.
That's because I was no longer breathing. I was just exhaling.
But other than that, I don't have anything to shout out, so take it away, Zelo.
All right. So next week, the anime podcast will continue with Desiree's pick from last week. Obviously, you guys know we shuffled a little bit and we took audience questions last week. We are going to be doing Chilling in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon Lord's army next week.
Wait, what?
At which
Wait.
yeah, we didn't do your anime last
basically,
week.
because you weren't here, we just went off track.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you guys do?
So your anime-
Now I gotta watch a podcast. My fault.
Yeah, we actually it was Kai mostly, but we just fielded some audience questions based around anime. Which characters
Okay.
we want to be, which universes we want to be in, and just kind of had some fun and chatted with the audience for a while, answered some of their questions.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
feel like I must have said something out of pocket that was funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um,
All right.
other than that, like Draco said, Tuesday and Friday, I'm going to Tour Gaming Convention next Saturday, so that'll be cool. Might score some new games to play. Maybe it'll reignite my solo channel. We'll see. I got 2 games I'm looking for, and if I can score them cheap, sweet. Other than that, I just wanted to leave you guys with this. May all your dreams come true, but always remember that nightmares are dreams too.
Hey, yo!
You know,
that was
he's-
great.
You know
He's
what?
just trying to scar people. He's relentless.
You know what, Zelo? Now I have to fuck the demons in my dreams. Thank you for reminding me. I have to set dominant somehow.
That was a damn. I've had that. I've been wanting to use that for.
Oh,
I had a chance to. And I unleashed.
That
And now
was
you all gotta sleep
good.
at night.
what better night than our Hollow special?
Oh yes.
Alright, anyone you guys want to rate out to specifically?
I've been making a lot of suggestions, but if I am to put one forward, my buddy Xanthos13 is currently streaming some Super Mario Party with his wife Crimson.
So it's Xanthos, so is it X or Z?
It's
think
X, like Zelo.
Yeah.
I figured as much.
I always found that strange about the English language, or just the letter X in general. Why in many languages is the X pronounced Z? Why are we Z?
Nova, is his model, like, does he have blonde hair with, like, a little,
I started the raid.
like, oh, okay, thank God, because
Well,
I found him,
Does
but
he
I
have
just
on here?
ne-
Red hoodie? She did it.
It's like yeah, she's got it.
We got it. We got it.
Got it. You got it. Alright, guys. Love y'all so much. Thank you for coming. True. Don't forget
That's
to
the
copy
raid
that.
message.
Yep. Don't forget to copy the raid message. And if you wait for the raid out, you earn an extra 250 channel points, so you could bully us.
Hey,
But maybe
yo.
don't.
Well, you can bully Des.
No. We can bully Zelo. Specifically him and only him that ever needs to be bullied in reality.
Nah, you can't bully.
I mean, we could bully you by we speak Spanish. All of us speak Spanish around you.
How's that bullying me? I'm just gonna mute and not talk.
And then
I
Nova
can't
will
speak
French.
Spanish.
I was just say no.
Oh,
It's okay,
well, there you
Nova.
go.
You get to
If you
speak
try to
French.
bully me with that, you're bullying Nova too.
It's okay. She'll understand. She'll understand because she speaks
It's
French,
Mitzi that
so
thinks
she'll
she
understand
slightly
enough.
speaks it.
Exactly.
Did
But,
you just say that she'll Did
I'm
you just say she'll
technically
understand Spanish because she speaks French?
It's Latin based. It's Latin based. She'll understand the root of it.
Surprisingly
Thank you
enough,
very
it
much.
works.
Stay safe, guys. Woo out.
Bye bye.